You gotta admire a man who can wear a deep V like that. I mean, holy shit! Like that is the deepest V neck of all time. Look at that shit. Damn near goes down to his belly button. Gotta love Roger Cobb. Welcome to the Horror Syndicate. Tonight is a very special night as we are going to count down the top 10 horror films from 1986. And again, there's a list of four of us who are involved in the voting on this. And the way we do it is we send out our ranking of my top 10, and then Seth's top 10, and then Nate's top 10, and then Jared's top 10. And I smush them up like real good. Like actually, every number has a point value. So if I voted for something as a number one, that got 1 point. If and so forth and so on. And if there's anything on the list that I didn't like, let's say I put a movie on the list, it got 10 points if nobody else saw it per person. So you add all those up, and obviously the one with the least amount of points is the number one. The one with the most points is the worst one, or not the worst one, but the highest rated one. We do have a couple comments to get to before we really get started. From Sean Sheridan, he says 1986, obviously Jason Lives. Not my favorite Friday movie, but it's the best. Critters is decent, not on the list, by the way. TCM2, I don't like, but for me, it's decent. Yeah, well, there's going to be a few left off that I'm very disappointed in, and I appreciate Hooper went in a different direction. Yeah, that's one thing I love about too. It's so different from the original movie. But yeah, like I said, Critters is not on the list. Neither is TerrorVision. Neither is April Fool's Day. There are a lot of movies. So we're getting into the thick of the 1980s with 86. We started with 85. We've done 80 through 85 now, and we're getting really into the thick of it. Also, if you're go to the Horror Syndicate's Facebook page, we are doing 5-star ratings again. Here is April Fool's Day. We did that earlier today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. So yeah, go check these out. And basically, the way this works is if you think it's a perfect movie, you give it a heart, 5 stars. Perfect movie, perfection, the best ever, things like that. 4 stars, it's a great movie. 5 stars or 3 stars, it's good. 2 stars, not great. 1 star, terrible. Figure it out. It's easy. It actually works out really well. We did the three Nosferatu films, and I believe the new one got an 84%. So that's pretty fair. Where the original got like a 93 or something like that. And we've done these a lot. The reason why I keep doing them is well, we need traffic going to the page. Also, it's because I keep losing track of them. So I'm closing them out at a certain point, and then every like 2 or 3 days or so, that's when I will tabulate the scores. So, with that all said and all that done, please don't forget to hit the like button, uh, comment in the comments if you want to comment, like Sean Sheridan here saying that no April Fool's Day, I never saw it, but the reputation, it's a good movie, but is it a horror movie? That's the big question. And also hit the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate that. All the efforts that we make are to get subscribers so we can get money, even though we don't get any money. Let's see. We have 1951, 49 away from 2000. So let's get that going. And Seth, as soon as he shows up, I'll bring him in. But 1986 was a big year in horror. There are a lot of cool films in 1986 that we will be going over. It was a stacked year, and I think you'll find that the next three, 86, 87, and 88, are all stacked years. And I think that there might be some disappointments, but I mean, it's hard to be disappointed. There is one movie that I do not believe is a horror movie, and I do not believe it belongs on this list. We'll get to that. It's taking up a spot where another horror movie could be. That is up to you guys also. Let me know when we get to that one what you think, whether it's a horror movie, whether it's not a horror movie. We will get into that when that movie comes up. I say it is not a horror movie, but I'm very critical on that stuff, where some people are not. So let's bring in a very special boy. Some would call him very brave for watching 125 werewolf movies. Here is Seth T. Miller. Seth, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you? Nice shirt, by the way.
Oddly enough, my son works. My son, he actually wore the shirt today, and we did not do that on purpose. So I was like, I came home because we went out to dinner tonight. Today is, I'm gonna say it, the anniversary of the day my mom passed away. It's been 21 years now. She died when she was 44. Also today is the day that I officially outlived my mom. I'm 44 and I am about 11 hours older than she ever will get. So, very, very kind of sad day, but I've gotten through it. Anyway, I took the kids to get Mexican food at our favorite Mexican spot, Tres Caminos, and it was delicious. But Reynolds was wearing the same shirt. I was like, oh, twins. And then Helena was wearing a hoodie, and she shows her shirt. She's wearing a Superman shirt too. It's like a Superman family. Come on, we're ready for the summer. The
The
summer
house
of
of
Superman. By the way, if anybody doesn't know, justice for Angelina. Uh, so Seth, what's going on with you?
not much.
All
Nothing
right.
eventful. My werewolf list will be. I think my the article will be ready by the end of the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. 125 werewolf movies. Do you feel accomplished now?
I was writing this out. I'm like, you know what? I should publish a book like the ultimate guide to werewolf films, and then
You
just
probably could actually.
I could. I
You
should.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the the issue with that is you're gonna have to watch probably everything else that you've missed, which I don't know like how much you've missed or how many are left. It feels like
There's
you've watched them all. So
there's quite a few.
yeah. But I mean, you're getting down to it. I remember you did the 75 a couple years ago, and people were screaming from the rooftops. Where's the Paul Naschy films?
Yeah.
So how'd you do on that front?
There's 5 on this list.
So okay, so you've done some Paul Naschy homework. Well,
Yep.
there you go.
I still got more to
Um,
see.
oh shit, do they really? I am gonna have to go to Walmart, I guess. Thank you very much, Trekopedia. Awful, awful day for me. In 2 weeks is the anniversary of when my wife died. Yay! No, that's next Friday. Ugh. Yeah, I've had a tragic life. Seth has had a tragic life too because he's seen the Howling Three marsupials numerous times.
And it gets better every time.
Shut your mouth. Uh,
Can't wait to
I
do a show on
appreciate
that, right?
everything that everybody's saying. If Superman fails, God help the DCU. I know. I don't think it'll fail either. I have high hopes for it. All right. So my number one question for you guys tonight is: we're talking about horror in 1986. What is your top horror film from 1986? And one of these four movies did not make the list. You've got Night of the Creeps, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Jason Lives, and TerraVision. Which one did not make the list? Seth, you can't answer. I think you know the answer. So,
Actually, I don't even remember our list. So
no. Aliens is Terry's favorite of 86. All right. Jason Lives. Fucking A right. For me, my top horror film is April Fool's Day. Thank you for leaving us in suspense. Seth is a part. Seth and his part of his book for the Howling 2 just put titties repeated. And I will be happy. I'll buy that book if that's the case. Ooh, house. Okay, here we go. Some good ones out there. Real fast, and I'll say this at the end of the show. Seth's got Werewolf Wednesday tomorrow, and Skinwalkers is the topic. So don't forget to get your calendars ready. 9:30 Eastern, right here, wherever you are on Facebook or YouTube. Check out Werewolf Wednesday with Seth Thaddeus Miller. I haven't brought up Thaddeus in a while.
Yeah.
They call him Thunderbolt Seth. No. All right, Rawhead Rex. Okay. Friday the 13th, 6, Night of the Creeps. All right. Well, let's get into the list. And the very first one, number 10, is in fact Night of the Creeps. What do you think?
I don't. I feel like it should be higher than number 10, but
It should be.
yeah, this movie is a lot of fun.
Yes.
Thrilling, maybe even.
I am blaming Nate 100% for this. I
He didn't
don't
have
think
it
it
on
was
his
on his
list.
list. I have to look, but I'm almost sure it's not on his list. You get. Thank you. That's a great compliment. But yeah, I think it should be higher on the list. Oh, I'm sorry, Trekopedia. Hang in there, my friend. But yeah, I think this should be higher on the list. It's a rank lower, whatever you want to call it, because this is Tom Atkins is awesome. First of all, anytime you get Tom Atkins playing a tough guy, you know you got a winning movie. But it's kind of an alien zombie movie in a way. There's a lot of cool stuff in this movie.
Oh yeah, so I'm sorry. I'm trying to look for the list because I forgot what was even on it. But yeah, this movie I saw it for the first time like 2 years ago, maybe I think. Bought the Blu-ray for it, and Amber and I watched it, and yeah, it was fun from beginning to end. Um, I love the line. What was it? Uh, the good news is your boyfriend's here, something like that.
Your dates are here.
Yeah,
Yeah. The bad news is
yeah.
they're dead. Nate had this at number 8, so maybe Jared didn't have it on his list. Somebody had it either ranked really low or not at all. It's definitely on my list.
It's probably fucking me.
It could be. Let me look. Let me look at Seth Brundle. By the way, that's what it says on my phone. Is that your name is Seth Brundle? No, you had it number 7. You had it number 7. It must have been Jared. Jared, you old SOB, you. But yeah, no, Night of the Creeps is a lot of fun. Sean, you said you haven't seen Night of the Creeps. I think you'll love it. It's a fun ass time. I've never seen anybody talk bad about this movie. Have you, Seth?
No, not
Yeah.
at all. It's a crowd pleaser.
It is. It really is. It's a fun party movie too.
It's from Fred Decker, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, director of Monster Squad.
Yeah, Night of the Creeps is an inspiration for Slither. If you've seen Slither, yeah, it's a fun movie. Definitely check it out. I think Night of the Creeps belongs higher on this list, but unfortunately, forgot about The Fly. It's number 1. Okay, Fly's a good one. Coming in at number 9, it's a movie called Blue Velvet. This is not a horror movie, and that's really all I got to say. Nate put this at his number 1 spot, and this is exactly why a movie like Critters didn't make the list. This is why Night of the Creeps is number 10. Blue Velvet is a fine movie. I'm not a huge fan of it. David Lynch, of course, but it's also not a horror movie in any way. Dennis Hopper is batshit nuts crazy, and that's about the scariest thing about this movie. If you want to rate on a scary scale, but other than that, I don't think there's anything horror about this movie at all. So that's really all I gotta say about it. I know that you haven't seen it, right?
No, and I have it too. I actually found I have a few Lynch movies in my collection, but I have not seen it.
Yeah, I mean, there's this is a conflict Nate and I have quite a bit, unfortunately. But where I question whether or not it's a horror movie. He hates that, so I didn't bother with this at all. And we did a whole show on Blue Velvet, and I think I missed most of that show because something happened. But it's just not. It's not. I watched it, and there's nothing that would. It's a crime movie, mystery type movie. It's not a horror movie, and I hate being that way, but it's a fine movie. It's on Max if you haven't seen it, or Seth, you can watch it. It's more like a fucking crazy batshit. Here, Wikipedia says neo noir mystery thriller film. So I don't agree with this being on the horror list. I did it because Nate had. I put it at number 9 because, well, that's what it scored at because Nate had it at number 1. But unfortunately, I don't think it's a horror movie at all. There's nothing about it that even reads horror to me. And Seth, I want to get your opinion once you see it. So,
Okay.
but and nothing. I'm not trying to uh show disrespect for the movie or Nate for that matter. It's just watching it, and Reynolds watched it with me. He's like, "What's horror about this?" Is like nothing. I didn't see horror in it anywhere. There's a movie that Nate had on his list last week that ended up making our 84 list for 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "That's not really a horror movie either." I can't remember the title of it offhand. It was a Coen Brothers movie. Do you remember? You've seen
Oh,
it.
was it Blood Simple?
Blood Simple, yeah. I just don't see where that's a horror movie either. But The Elephant Man scared the tar out of me as a kid. Yeah, me too. But I also don't think that's a horror movie. I don't consider Blue Velvet a horror film, but it's still good. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the. Yep. Yeah. So I don't want to stay too long on this because the next movie is one of my favorites of the entire year. It is Demons 2. And if you follow the horrorsyndicate.com, I just posted the article of why I love Demons 2 more than I love Demons. With no disrespect of Demons, of course, because I absolutely love Demons. Demons is awesome. But I just love Demons 2 more. I saw it first. I love Sally. She's my girl. Um, we have children together. They look like this. But no, I don't know. I've always liked Demons 2 a lot. Probably a lot more than I should. But it's a fun ass movie. It takes place in a build. I mean, like Evil Dead Rise in a way. It's all in one, like a high rise um, apartment building, and you just get to see from different floors, different levels, different types of people what's going on in this movie. And I think that's versus the people freaking out in the movie theater and kind of trying to band together. I think it works a little bit better for me in some ways. Plus, I love uh, Sally's transformation scene more so than the transformation scene from Greta in the first movie. I don't know. I just love this one. You may differ on that point.
Well, here's what I'll say is that I prefer the first film, but Demons 2 is a lot of freaking fun. And,
Oh yeah.
uh, I know he's not the same character, but my favorite character from the first one was the pimp. And they got that,
Yes.
they got that actor back, and I was super excited for that. I like the setting. Um, Sally was hard to like. She kind of grated on my nerves at first, but then when she became the demon, it got a lot better. It got a lot more interesting.
Hey,
Um,
it's her bar. It's her party, and she'll cry if she wants to. Okay.
yeah, yeah. She grated on my nerves a little bit, but yeah. I mean,
Plenty them.
I, I prefer the first film, but Demons 2 is a hell of a lot of fun, and I
It
need
is.
to rebuy these movies because I have no idea where my copies went to.
So I think I whipped it out last time. Excuse me while I whip this out. Synapse released this great 2-pack,
Mm,
and it actually has the birthday invitation for Sally and the tickets to the Metropole inside, and I got them both framed on my wall over there where you guys can't see.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's a great addition. But of course, you know me. I've got the older Synapse versions, and I put them in yellow cases,
Yeah,
which Demons looks really good in the yellow case because of the yellow text.
yeah.
Anyway, yes, I just love Demons too. I absolutely suggest it. It's back on Shutter, as is Demons. Actually, Shutter put all the Demons movies back up. Demons 2, with the exception of a few of them, but The Church is on there. I highly recommend The Church if you've never seen it, and The Sect, which are all supposedly Demon sequels. They titled Demons in other countries because that's the way Italians do it, and God bless them for doing that. for having 20 different titles for each movie. Love you. Anyway, but yeah, man, I mean, look at this face. Only a face a razor could love, you know?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get my daughter to dress up like her for Halloween for years now, and she just won't do it. I mean, I think that'd be awesome, don't you?
It would.
Well, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with liking any sequel more because in Seth's case, he does that a lot. That's why we call him Sequel Seth sometimes. Phantasm 2 springs to mind immediately, but I think there are a lot of fans with that one that would kind of agree with you where Phantasm 2 is the best of the five. Speaking of, we want to send our thoughts and love out to Reggie Bannister, who's in hospice care. I don't know if you heard about that, Seth. I
Yeah,
think
that's,
did I tell you, or did you
yeah,
find out on your
yeah.
own? Okay,
No,
yeah,
you sent me the link there.
yeah.
So yeah,
It's unfortunate.
that sucks, man.
Yeah, love Reg, love him. I mean, he is, if not for Ash, I think Reggie would be the coolest mofo hero in horror.
Yeah.
But you know, too bad we didn't get a Reggie and Ash movie.
Yeah.
Darn. Well, spell check. Then what the hell is Ref G? Just kidding. All right, let's keep moving. I could talk about Sally all day. Look at her; she's beautiful. That transformation scene just gets me. Uh, so moving on to number 7 is House. Awesome movie. And again, Roger Cobb's got the deep V. Look how deep that shit is. I know you've got that same sweater at home, Seth. Do you love just showing off your chest like Roger?
All the time.
Yeah. House is another fun. See, I think the theme of 1986 is fun ass movies. Because like almost everything on here you can be like, man, that's a fun movie. But these are good movies to watch at a party. There's a couple that are not. We'll get to those. But man, what do you think of House?
Yeah, so it's been a long time since I've seen House, but
Fix that.
House is like it's kind of nostalgic to me. Like it reminds me of like literally like when I was a teenager and my family moved into a new house. I watched this within the first weekend that we were there. I was putting stuff away in my room, and this was on TV. And I think the second one was on after it. But
Oh, the second one's so good.
yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to get a Blu-ray or DVD of this, but I didn't need to, and I need to revisit it. It's been a long time.
Sorry, I was looking for mine because I think it was I can't remember if it was Scream Factory or Arrow that released these great. I think it's Arrow. They released the. Oh, there they are. These just gorgeous looking Blu-ray covers, which of course I have the. They're gorgeous. These are gorgeous looking Blu-ray covers, and I got the original, posters. But they're really cool. I like it's Arrow. I don't know if they're still available or not, but I don't know where you can see
Yeah,
that.
that's cool.
Yeah, and then there's one for Heart. They released a box set with all 4 of them in there, but I did not want the other 2, so I just got these 2, and I'm very happy with my decision because both House movies are tons of fun, man. I and that's one of the fun things is they're both like very different. The things I like about House, I love the design of the house. This is a Sean Cunningham film, by the way, so hold on to your butts. I'm going to be nice about Sean Cunningham. But I love the whole idea behind this house is it's almost like a dimensional portal to another place, and there's the creepy creatures. I love the scene with his wife, Roger. Like my daughter actually, I don't know where it is. She made a mold, like a clay finger of Roger's wife when she's like a zombie or monster or whatever for me. But yeah, man, House is so much fun. Definitely worth owning, and definitely gonna have to watch them again, even though it's been a while. I really, really love both of these movies. The third one I've never seen. The fourth one I saw. They brought Roger back, and he dies at the very beginning, and then it's just really kind of a boring movie. Yeah, that's one thing I'm gonna be upset about is never getting to meet Reg. He makes me want to grow. I'm bald on top. I don't have any hair, so he makes me want to grow my hair out and put it in a ponytail, just like him.
Oh, you should do
Um,
it.
I don't have the patience to grow my hair out. That's part of the problem. House Two is good. I don't remember if House Two made our list for '87, but actually I don't know anything because Jared just put in his list for 1987 today. So
Oh,
yeah, so I'll be able to get those tallied up as well. I had a busy day at work, man. There's so much going on at work today that I didn't get any of the stuff I shouldn't be doing at work done today. So
yeah,
yeah, you know how it goes.
yeah,
Love House and House Two. Yeah, I mean, and it's fun because you can watch them back to back, and you got yourself a good night. I'm just saying. Plus, I think both of them are also we really need to make a list, Seth, in my opinion, of like starter horror movies. House scared me when I was a kid. The
oh yeah,
first, yeah, and the second one isn't as scary, but the makeup effects are pretty decent, and I think these are both movies that you could show to kids. Maybe six or
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. So we definitely need to make a list of those movies. House Two is so much fun. The cat or puppy, yeah, cat or puppy. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely a great starter movie. All right, Seth, you ready? Number six, The
Ah,
Hitcher.
the Hitcher.
One of your personal favorites.
It is. Can't remember where did I have it. Did I have it number two?
Um, Let me look because I think you had it pretty high. Because you remember, what's funny about this? When I tabulated the list, I looked at my own list twice, and I'm like, why didn't you have The Hitcher on your list?
Oh
And
yeah,
you're like, I
yeah.
did. Yeah, number two. You're like, I did. I'm like, no, you didn't. And then you send me that. I'm like, oh, I looked at my own list twice. So
Yeah, the Hitcher. I know you don't like it, and I'm kind of
no,
curious.
it's not that I don't like it. I haven't seen it in many years.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay.
Yes, I tried watching it on HBO or Max or whatever you want to call it, and
Oh,
the
yeah. That
quality was
quality is.
garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I had better luck putting it in my DVD.
I don't even own a copy, so I do want to watch it again because even though it's a remake, I did like the Sean Bean 2006 or 2007 remake. So
Yeah, that one was pretty decent. I don't know if I would. I don't know about the choice of using Nine Inch Nails closer for a car chase, but you know,
I like
uh,
where Sean's thinking. By the way, double bill, two movies you can watch. Yeah, I agree.
oh
That'd be
yeah,
a fun list too.
yeah,
Do some double feature Fridays.
yeah, um, yeah. So the original Hitcher is uh, it's definitely one of my favorites. It's one that I watch a lot. I'm a sucker for road horror films.
There you are.
Um, yeah, you know, and actually the director of this did another one in like the early 2000s called Highwaymen, which I really enjoy as well. Um,
Isn't Marsupials a road movie? Kind of.
I guess you could say that. Yeah.
I don't want to say anything about that movie, but go ahead.
I can't wait to do a show on Howlin' 3, the marsupials.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Hitcher though, it's great. Rucker Hauer is awesome in it. Um, Jesus Christ, I can't even think of his name. The C. Thomas Howell.
Thomas Howell, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good as Jim. Yeah, just a really cool road horror film, cat and mouse. I think it's shot well. I think it's got some great action in it. And yeah, really cool film. So you should definitely rewatch it
Yeah,
sometime.
absolutely. Absolutely agree with you. I need to rewatch this for sure. Is there a good Blu-ray release that's out there?
I'm not sure. I know that there was like a. I don't know if it was Arrow or someone did a
Well,
Blu-ray.
Triggerpedia says he did mention the Arrow release, but is that the question I have is that UK only or region B or whatever, or is it US release? Because I'm restricted to US. I know that's why I didn't say much about it. Because I know, and do you just have the DVD?
Yeah, I just have the DVD of it.
Okay.
I own all three Hitcher
Oh
films.
shit! Hold on. Sean says it's on 4K now. Interesting.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
Sounds like I might have a better shot of seeing it now. Whoop.
the the the
Okay.
last I knew, I mean, and I could be wrong, maybe things changed, but that that Blu-ray release was only gonna be like region B.
Mm.
But I got a player that plays region free. I paid a little extra to get it reprogrammed, um, so it can play any region. I just hope it's not like the Dawn of the Dead situation.
What do you mean?
Well, so I got
Oh,
this.
is it the Second Sight one? Is that who released it?
Yes,
Okay.
and I was like, great. So my Blu-ray player can play it. Well, nope. So it's got 4 discs. Uh, the only one that's just Blu-ray is only special features. The
Oh,
film
come
is on
on.
4K disc. All the other discs are 4K. So my player won't play it. So I got this neat little set. I paid a little bit more than I should have for, and can't even watch it. And I was super excited when it came in too. I'm like, awesome! I'm gonna watch the original Dawn of the Dead, fucking, HD. Yeah,
Yeah, it sucks. I wanted that, but I'm like, I don't even have a 4K player, first of all. And I still don't, even when that came out. And I made a video about why can't we just get a standard Region A or Region 1 release for Dawn of the Dead? And people are like, oh, the second sight release. I'm like, you're missing what I'm saying here.
yeah.
Like it's 4K is region free generally, but at the same time, it's like I not everybody has a 4K player, and I would like to have a Blu-ray. I mean, I do have a Blu-ray version of Dawn of the Dead. It's just like the very original release. I think it's. I put it
I,
in the yellow case.
see,
Also,
I
this one.
wish I was able to get that because my my Romero collection is weird without it because I go from like night to day. I have all of his other ones, but
Which night do you have? Do you have the
Criterion,
Criterion?
yes,
It's good.
and it's a beautiful transfer.
Yeah, it really is. Good. That's got great extra features on there too.
Oh yeah, excellent. Yeah,
All right, so moving on to we gotta keep moving. I can talk about Blu-ray releases all damn day.
I know, right?
We've got number 5, From Beyond, another fun ass movie.
Absolutely. This is probably my favorite Stuart Gordon movie.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and that's tough. It's tough to choose because I also love Reanimator and
Mhm.
Dagon. But yeah, From Beyond is it's a wild movie. It's bizarre. It's just great. It's weird, imaginative, and
Gross at times,
yeah,
sexy at times.
yeah.
I mean, Ken Foree in his underwear. What's up? Let's go. Of course, Barbara Crampton, hot as ever, and just like that. By the way, boobs in this movie. Just saying. I need you to go back and read this. Sorry. But yeah, From Beyond, it's a fun movie. Kind of a part. I don't know if it's a party movie, but it's definitely fun. It's the way it's shot, the way it's lit, man. It's so good. And of course, we get Jeffrey Combs with another great performance.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
this fucking movie is awesome. I don't and another movie that I don't see where anybody can complain. I saw this really young, and watching him suck people's eyeballs really fucked me up as a kid. So Jeffrey Combs, because Reanimator always messed me up also. So Jeffrey Combs is just fucking me up as a kid.
Yeah, well, I didn't see this until what was
Yes,
it
she
like
does.
uh 4 5 years ago now.
Really?
When we first started Discourse, we did a
Oh
show
yeah.
on Stuart Gordon
Stuart Gordon
films.
had just died.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so I went through and I was marathoning a bunch, and prior to the show, yeah, and I saw this for the first time, and I instantly uh, went to Amazon and bought it after.
That's how you know something's good is when you're like, okay, gotta own it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like when I saw The Substance, I immediately pre-ordered it, like right after I watched it.
Oh, did you? Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. It's I mean, yeah, From Beyond's fun, man. It's there's kind of a lot going on, but it's so much fun. I definitely, if you've never seen From Beyond, you're missing out. Absolutely.
yeah.
But she may have had, I don't know if she has or not. She's still gorgeous. She's in her mid 60s and just doesn't look much different. Barbara Crampton. Okay, number four. What do you call this one?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, poor fucking LG.
Poor fucking LG. This one, Sean was talking about it a little earlier before you jumped on. It's wild how different the tone is compared to the original movie.
And that's why I
You,
didn't like it at first.
yeah, well, isn't this your favorite now?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and I mean, I can see why people would prefer this to the original. The original is, I prefer the original, of course, but not by much. This movie is so different, but it's so much fun. Again, it's another fun ass movie from 1986. I mean, Bubba's got a girlfriend. Bubba's got a girlfriend. A lot of it comes from Bill Moseley, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the portrayal of Leatherface himself and the cook is much different. Especially, he wins. This is the one of the most fucked up things about the entire franchise, in my opinion. He wins a chili cook-off and feeding people meat, human meat, basically. That's a secret ingredient. Think about how fucked up that is. How many
Mhm.
people you think tried that chili and he kind of made them into cannibals? If you really think about that,
Yeah.
then you got that "Fuck You, Charlie." Such a great movie. Yeah, oh, it's on Max. Cool. Yeah, there's so much fun about this movie. I don't even know where to go. I mean, you got fucking Dennis Hopper. It's the second Dennis Hopper movie on this list. Who, I mean, he must be sucking on that ether or inhaling that or whatever that is. He sucked on a velvet to get into this role because Lefty's a nutball. Like, think about that scene at the chainsaw shop where he's just going at it on that log, and then it pans over to the guy who's selling chainsaws, all excited and shit. It's like, what is going on in this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love Texas Chainsaw too. It's so fun. This is, if not, like, there are two camps. There's the original camp, and then there's the people who love two more. There are the people who love the remake more than any of them, which I'm just going to tell you right now, you're absolutely 100% wrong. It's not that good. One of the most overrated horror movies I think ever is the remake. But this is fucking fun. So tell me some things you love about this movie.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, I mean, first off, I do think the first film is the better film in the series, but uh, this one is just a lot of fun just because, one, it's so unique in comparison to the rest, tone wise and everything. And this is just a batshit crazy movie. Like, when I first watched it,
Hmm.
I I didn't love it. Like I actually hated it when I first watched it. So I immediately following the first one, I'm like, what is this? They're completely just making a joke out of it. And then seeing it again, like just something clicked with me about it and how it is unique in comparison to the rest of the films
Yeah.
and how just insane it is across the board. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff that happens in this, and and then there's poor fucking LG, the
Hmm.
guy who gets the worst of it. Um,
Well,
yeah,
first of all, let's talk about the opening of the movie. It
yeah,
opens up awesome.
hmm
With the truck and the two guys driving down the road and big bright lights, big titties, all that.
Yeah.
And we get to see Nubbins, the return of Nubbins from the first movie. So yeah, that's who Leatherface is holding with the chainsaw. That's the guy who got ran over in the first movie. It's Nubbins, Chop Top's brother. But I saw a comment that said Bill Moseley makes this movie, and you're not wrong. A lot of what I love about this movie is Bill Moseley's performance as Chop Top. How good is that in this
Well,
movie?
for me, it's a combination of I think everyone in the film, though. I mean, Stretch is awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
he
just
is.
you know, and then of
Absolutely.
course LG, he has my sympathies. Um,
Should we do a
sorry,
hashtag for LG? Justice for LG?
Justice for LG. Yeah. Um, but I. So one of the things I love about the franchise as a whole, and this is one of the complaints I had about some of the newer films in the series, is like what I loved about this is it was about family, and just I love the dynamic of them together. So
Yeah,
Jim Sadao and just the way he plays off of everything, and I, I
a
love that whole
consummate professional too.
yeah, and I love how like when Mosley is doing the Bubba's got a girlfriend thing, the way it just
Mhm.
keeps showing Leatherface's eyes darting around. It was just funny to me. But yeah, I like the whole cast of this. I like the characters in this. I think the characters make the movie because they bring a lot of personality in this really weird world.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I mean, overall, this Texas Chainsaw 2 is just, it's another fun movie. And I know this is a party movie because I've shown it at numerous parties.
Yeah,
I've had on my outdoor horror movie nights out in my backyard. It's a crowd pleaser for sure. And it is definitely worthy of a number four spot. Yes, it's a canon film. It's worthy of the number four spot because the next three are pretty. They're titans of horror. So number three is one that it did not make my list. That's why it's number three. Is Aliens.
yeah.
Why did it?
You're not a
Huh?
fan of the franchise, are you?
Not at all. This franchise is a complete snooze fest to me. Not to mention, I don't see this as a horror movie, and we've talked about that before. This is the only scene, in my opinion, that is anything close to a horror scene in the whole movie. So it's not on my list, but you can go ahead and gush about it. I know a
Like,
lot of people will say I'm wrong. I don't give a shit. It is more horror than Blue Velvet, though.
well, I think it's got some horror elements to it, but I mean, I grew up knowing this as an action film.
Exactly,
But
just like Predator.
if you can't beat them, join them. So I added this to my list for horror.
Oh, so you're on the same page I am because I feel the same way about Predator.
Yeah, I mean, I there's certain films that I could see. Okay, it's easier to make an argument for something like the Terminator than it is for Aliens or Predator. I think.
Okay.
Uh, but regardless of that, I love Aliens. Uh, I love how this is in comparison to the first film. This being more fast-paced, action-packed. I like the characters a lot. The xenomorphs look great. Um, there's a lot of stuff I love about this. James Horner's score is great, and uh, I don't mention him too often, but James Cameron is, or at least was, one of my favorite filmmakers.
Who's James Cameron? I'm joking.
Yeah, um, he hasn't personally to me. I know that some people love his newer stuff, but to me, his last great film was True Lies. But yeah, Aliens is fantastic film, and I think it's more action than horror, but it's got horror elements in it, and um, I just kind of let it slide, let it be on the list.
I don't actually disagree with what Sean put. Titanic is his best
Oh my
movie.
god, I'm gonna fucking barf.
I actually love that movie. It's going to be playing in the theater here, and I'm going to take the kids to see it because we all love it. So the thing is, like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with anybody who wants to call this a horror movie. It's pretty well celebrated by fans of horror as a horror movie, and that's okay to digest that. I'm fine with that because I do think Alien is absolutely a horror movie, and I also believe Alien 3 is a horror movie.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, so that's fine. It's just I'm not a fan. I didn't see Aliens till 2006. So again, it's one of those movies I saw late. If I saw it in the 80s, maybe I'd love it.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me of a point, though, to a certain degree. Another reason why I definitely let this slide being on a horror list is because it is a film in a primarily horror franchise. Most of the, I mean, even Alien Resurrection had a lot of horror to it.
Yeah, I guess that I was gonna say at this point, are we sure? Because of Prometheus, Covenant,
Covenant was definitely was sort of like a return to the horror
kind
roots.
of a return to snoozing. It took me 7 years to watch that movie.
I like Covenant.
I like three more than I should probably.
I'm
But
warming up to three. I'm warming up
yeah,
to three. The producer's cut or whatever is really good of it.
yeah, the extended cut, whatever it's called. They got too many different names. I just call it extended cut. Oh, it's a producer's cut. Oh, it's a director's cut. Blah blah blah. Just call it extended. Well, I guess that's not true because sometimes they have different. Anyway, so coming up at number two is one of the best remakes of all time, The Fly, which I believe was number one on your list.
Yes, it was.
And it's the one scene in this movie that it ranks it so high for you, and I know it is how Brundlefly eats. So
It's an inspiring scene.
it really is.
I try to practice it every morning.
I try, but nothing comes out. So
Well, stuff comes out, but just it doesn't taste good eating it again.
For a second it sounded like you said stuff comes out, but it's just semen. So
Maybe that is what I said.
maybe that's what comes out. I don't know. Are you eating with your penis now? And does Amber know? Oh, you think you know what number one is? Okay. Best remake. No, that's I said one of the best remakes, number one. And you are 100% wrong on the fog being one of the best remake. I know he's poking at Seth. I'm almost certain you're poking at Seth.
He's trolling. He's trolling.
Yeah, trolling. So yeah, The Fly, man. This movie fucked me up when I was a kid. I saw it in the theater on accident, which I'm starting to think it wasn't an accident because my cousin took me to see Cobra. You remember Cobra with Sly Stallone?
Mm-hmm.
And somehow we saw Poltergeist 2. And I sat through that and the scene where, he throws up the worm and it turns into half cane or whatever it is. It fucked me up as a kid. And then we went to go see Cobra again the next week and we saw The Fly. I think my cousin was just wanting to see horror movies and lying to my mom about what he was taking me to see.
Dude,
Which Cobra really isn't the right movie to take a 6-year-old either. But whatever.
No, definitely.
But no, I saw The Fly. This Fly is brilliant, man. The original and this one are both brilliant films.
I would say I am totally envious of the fact that you got to see this in the theater.
I don't remember it though, man. I wish I did, but yeah, I did. The only thing I remember about seeing this in the theater was when Gina Davis rips his jaw off and his head splits open. That amazing scene, of course. That's what stuck with me leaving the theater.
Oh, dude! Next year is going to be the 40th
Yeah.
anniversary. I wonder if we're going to get a. Oh my god! I would love to see this on the big screen. I
Who's
hope
this
there's a.
bitch? Oh man, look at the legs on this chick. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, that would be so cool if we got like a 4K treatment of The Fly in the theater. Shit,
Oh yeah,
man,
yeah. Just,
that'd be so
I
great.
mean, there's so many great things about The Fly, right? The Jeff Goldblum's performance.
Hmm.
Then there's the effects. The effects are uncanny in this. The body horror is just gross and it's awesome. Um, uh, I, I love the the kind of switch of like so Seth is kind of like the good guy in the beginning, and then Strathis is the dickhead in
Right.
the beginning,
Mhm.
and then by the end of the film, Seth is the villain and Strathis is kind of like the hero. There's
Tries to
kind
be
of
the hero anyway.
trying
Yeah.
to be, like he's still trying to do the
He fucking barfs on his arm and his leg. It's like, oh.
great scene too.
Yeah,
But
it is. It really is. This is one of
and
those
then
movies that there's not a weak part of this movie, too.
no,
You
no,
know?
definitely not. And um, uh, one last thing I was going to say, especially about the potential of seeing this on the big screen again, like when Hellraiser Remastered came out, one of the things
Hmm.
we talked about was being able to hear the score in the theater.
Oh yeah.
The score for The Fly by I
Hmm.
think Howard Shore is just it's also a
It's gonna be
very
excellent.
it's
Yeah,
I mean yeah, I really hope next year Fathom Events does this.
that would be so cool. I'm not gonna hold my breath, but I could see that happening, honestly.
Hmm.
Uh, I wanted to comment on this when he breaks the guy's arm. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Mm,
That looks so
in the
good when he
bar,
breaks the. What's
yeah,
that?
in the bar,
Yeah, in the bar. Yeah, and then he picks up the girl, and you
yeah,
almost get to see her boobs, but you don't really get to, and it looks like she's probably got a nice rack. And it's, I mean, that's probably the most heartbreaking scene about this movie.
yeah,
But
like
there, I mean, in all honesty, though, there's a lot of crazy shit in this movie. Like he starts storing his parts that he keeps falling off in little jars in the bathroom. Like it's a gross ass body horror movie, but it's so good. Like
yeah.
it's not just about the effects or how gross Brundlefly looks. It's kind of it's a sad movie, really, if you think about it.
Well,
It's a really sad movie.
yeah, I mean his performance is incredible. I love Goldblum in this.
Yeah, I do too. And really, Gina Davis is really good. The whole cast is really good in this, which is it's a small cast, but
Hmm.
man, very personal performances from Goldblum for sure and Gina Davis. And one of the things I wanted to mention about this is the telepods or whatever they're called. I love the way they look.
Oh yeah, same here, dude.
They're
Yeah,
so cool looking.
yeah,
And by the end of the movie, when he merges with, you know, like it's first of all, it's heartbreaking again. Like watching it as an adult and understanding, like, oh, it's a cool movie. Look how gross he is, when you're younger. But as an adult, you watch him and he's urging him to kill. Like he finally has a little bit of his humanity back, and he's urging her to kill him. It's like, fuck.
yeah,
Why is this breaking my heart, Brundlefly? You
yep,
know, man, what a great movie.
yep.
Cronenberg is fucking amazing. Yeah, the dream sequence is good. There's so much good about The Fly. I mean, there's not much negative to say about it. Almost nothing at all, in my opinion.
It's my number one, so yeah, I got nothing negative to say about it.
I think that it would be. I have to look at the list again. Jason Lives was not. Oh, just blew it. But uh, sorry, everyone. But I feel like The Fly could have been number one. It was definitely always going to be number two. Since I fucked that up, we're still going to do our usual thing. Are you ready, Seth? Did you prepare this week?
Oh,
Not a bad question, Bert.
Okay, everybody. What is your favorite non-horror film of 1986? Seth, did you prepare or no? I cut you off when you were talking. Sorry.
yeah. Well, actually, I don't know if you remember this, but like weeks ago or whatever, when I sent you like my list for every single year in the '80s,
Hmm.
because I was
Oh, you
motivated that
did,
day.
didn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually came up with my answers in advance. Uh, so for '86, I have Highlander and Platoon.
Hmm. There's some odd ones for me. So, Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School is an all-time favorite of mine. It's it's just ridiculous and fun and stupid. It's got your boy from Christine in it, whose name is escaping me at the moment. Robert Downey Jr. is really good. It's just a fun movie. And of course, William Zabka plays the bully for his third straight movie. Uh, The Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home, I really love. Absolutely love that movie. But I think my favorite might be Ferris Bueller's Day. Oh, and Karate Kid Part 2 is my favorite Karate Kid movie. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off might be my favorite non-horror film of the 86. I adore that movie.
Yeah.
It's so good. And of course, Top Gun came out as well. I like that movie, but it's not one of my favorites. Let's see what are you guys answering? Come on. Flies an Allegory for AIDS. Big Trouble in Little China. Was that 86?
I thought that was 85.
That was 87.
No, 87 was Prince of
Prince of
Darkness.
Darkness. I think it is 86. Yeah, 1986.
It is? Okay. For some reason, I thought it was 85. But
Howard the Dick? Oh, Howard the Duck. Okay. Highlander. No, The Hitcher. The Hitcher's a horror movie. Where this is non-horror movies. And that's all the answers we got. Thanks a lot, guys. I just need you to comment. What do I got to do to get 11 comments? 11 comments. That's all I need. And some subscriptions. Did we get a new one yet? We usually get like one or two during or after the show. None. Come on, people. What do we got to do to get subscriptions? Star Trek: The Voyage Home. I like Star Trek: The Voyage Home quite a bit. It's silly. Transformers the movie. Hell yeah. Optimus got primed. What's up? Because he's gray. I don't want to copycat, but Ferris Bueller's. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with loving that movie. That movie's awesome. There's nothing bad about Ferris Bueller's. I quoted it the other day because there was at work somebody said, I don't know anybody named Abe. And I'm like, you don't know Abe Froman? They're like, who? The Sausage King of Chicago. So I love that movie. Even the cheesy twist and shout segment. My kids love it too. All right, so I ruined it. Number one, as you may have guessed, is the best Friday the 13th movie. Yeah, that's what it is. Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, Part 6. Let's go. Best one ever. Woohoo! Except that it has no boobs.
it's the second best Jason film. For sure.
Oh, I love this movie. Let's just say that. And then you love this movie too.
Oh yeah. I mean I love it so much. I did that. Remember? Oh man, I gotta bring it upstairs. I did a Jason Lives painting.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that Jason Lives painting, and it's so the thing about this movie, though, to me, I think why I rate it so highly on Friday the 13th movies is because of how well rounded it is, with the exception of stupid Darcy DeMoss not showing her tits, because she was the only one that could have had that happen in that movie. But anyway, this is the most well-rounded. We got Kids in the Camp. We got this is the wrap-up to the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, which started in your favorite, the final chapter, and I think it wraps up in a fantastic way. They could have ended the franchise on that note if they wanted to, but no, they had to bring it back, which is good. Yes, it does. Short Circuit. Yes, that's a good one. Oh, the Three Amigos. Okay, that's a good one. Second best. Oh, come on. All right, everybody watching right now, which Friday the 13th movie is your favorite? Leave it in the comments. I'm just going to say this. This is the only one that's been number one out of all the decade movies. I'm just saying. The only one.
It's what?
This is the only Friday the 13th movie that has been number one on our top 10 of the 80s decade rankings.
Yeah.
Just man. I mean, Friday the 13th 4 did have stiff competition, being that A Nightmare on Elm Street came out the same year. And that movie is miles better than, no offense to Friday the 13th, but A Nightmare on Elm Street is a way better movie. And yeah, you'll admit that too, I think.
Yeah.
What? Are you fucking for real? Oh, That's a sin. That should have been final chapter. The first one. Okay. The first one has its place. So I mean, we've talked about the Friday the 13th movies so much that I don't really have too much to say on this. I love this movie. It's a kind of a comfort movie in the same respects that Dream Master is for Elm Street. By the way, 1988, people are gonna be pissed. So
Yeah.
hey, three of us voted for it as number one. What can I say? You know, Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. It's right in the sweet spot. More fun than 4 and has the nudity unlike part. Yeah, that's a good
There's
point. There's yeah, I got you. Unlike 6, yeah, there's no nudity in this one. But Friday the 13th. Well, what Friday the 13th Part 5 does, it almost like lends itself. It's like here, Friday the 13th Part 6. You don't need to have nudity. We've got tons of tits in this one, so that's why I'm okay with it because that one does definitely have the most nudity. So, but let me ask you this: we've already decided who the best Jason is. The best man behind the mask, right?
Ted
Ted
White.
White.
Yeah.
Yes. Where would you rank CJ? CJ Graham.
Uh, well, I could tell you definitely in my top 5.
There's only like 6 guys that play Jason, like 7.
Yeah,
Right. How many to play Jason? There's Ari, Richard. No, I guess there's about almost 10. Yeah.
yeah. But so Ted is my favorite, and then Richard Brooker as well.
Hmm.
I really like Derek Mears as Jason.
Richard Brooker was the template moving on, in my opinion. You know, he
Oh yeah,
he 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 crawled so like everybody else could walk, I guess, if anyway, but not in a crawl because he was like really awesome as Jason.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. So yeah, probably like my 4th favorite, I think, for CJ.
CJ's my favorite, and that's all I got to say about that. I just love Jason Lives a lot. Everything about it. My favorite kills in the movie, Sheriff Garris.
That's a good
Uh,
kill.
it is a good kill. There's a lot of good kills. I mean, Jason throws a knife at a guy and hits him right in the forehead. That's awesome. You know, there's
RV flip is stunning work of art.
what is it?
The RV flip.
Oh
I,
yeah, the RV.
I
Yeah,
just love that. I love that whole scene anyway.
I do too. I agree. But there's the scene where he bursts through the door in the girls' dorm room or whatever it's called. You know, there's a lot of great stuff, and I love a good Jason burst scene. And this movie, and actually 4, 5, and 6 all have a great Jason burst scene. I mean, of course, it's a Roy burst scene in Part 5, but still, I love when he bursts through doors and shit or windows like in Part 4. So
Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of good with Jason Lives.
yeah.
Steve Dash. It's funny. I don't know where my book is. So I have, where is it? Crystal Lake Memories, the book. And every time I go to a convention, I have somebody, a cast member, sign it. I've got, I will not be able to get Ted White, unfortunately, and obviously Richard Brooker, who died in the mid 2000s, I believe. So I won't be able to get those two. But I got Kane Hodder, C.J. Graham, Steve Dash, who's no longer with us, and Warrington Gillette, all to sign the book. Those are the only Jasons I've gotten so far. And Steve Dash signed before Warrington, and he put, Steve Dash signs Jason Part 2. Okay. Warrington Gillette is a prick. He just like wrote really big in the book, took up half a damn page just to show up Steve Dash. He's like, I was the real Jason. I'm like, maybe when you burst through that window, but man, from what I hear, Steve Dash was the one in the coveralls the whole time, or the overalls the whole time. So Ted White, CJ, Derek Mears is underrated as Jason.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
Yep. He
Yeah.
was awesome.
Darcy,
Like he
Darcy,
reminded me the most of Brooker and White.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, and I think another thing about Derek Mears is he took a lot of pride in playing Jason,
Hmm.
which not many people can say that. Darcy DeMoss deserved to get her face in that fucking wall for not showing her boobs. Just saying. Or Shaq. Yeah, that's another great kill at the very top of the movie.
Yeah,
Jason just throws his hand right through his chest.
my heart can't
Uh,
take this.
part seven, bust through window. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, for the most part, Jason's been bursting through things since he burst out of the water in the first movie. So, but like, I think 4, 5, and 6 have the best bursts. Like, he obliterates the door in part 6. Like, he just completely annihilates it. It doesn't like pop off in pieces. It goes in shards, of wood. So that's why I think it's so great because he bursts through the little hole in the window, and Jason takes Manhattan on the boat as well. So he's always bursting through shit. No door is safe. No window is safe from Jason. I met
Oh man,
CJ.
I was gonna make a crude joke about what he
What?
burst through at the end, or in Jason Goes to Hell, but maybe I
Say
won't.
it. Say it.
burst through
Say
his,
it.
burst through his sister's pussy.
Oh God. He does though.
He comes
Gross.
right, like that is the door, and he just bursts right through.
He did. That Seth, you are a sick mamma jamma.
I know.
But I like that. I like that about you. Yeah, Warrington Gillette is not the best Jason. He's barely in the movie. Takes more credit than what he deserves. So 1987 is next year. Next week. Nope, 2026 is next year. So 1987 is next year. So we'll be taking your votes now for what you think number one is, and we don't know yet. I think if I had to guess, if I had to venture a guess, I think that Elm Street 3 will probably be number one. What are your thoughts on this?
Um,
There, Seth, you're not alone. Trekopedia thought the same thing.
that's good.
Bursting through some vag.
Yeah, I think the clear number one, or what should be the clear number one for 1987,
It's Prince of
is
Darkness.
Howlin' 3: The Marsupials.
Oh my god.
That's on my list,
This motherfucker put that on his list
just to troll you.
just to troll me. He gave up a spot on his list just to troll me.
That's right.
And
And so that's going to be in my honorable mentions next week.
joke's on you, buddy. It didn't make the list. So
We're going to do honorable mentions next week.
there you go. Hellraiser. Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about Hellraiser. Yeah, Hellraiser could be number one. I don't think it will be because Nate has it ranked really low.
Bastard.
Yeah, he's got it like 7 or 8 or something like that. To be fair, he's not a big fan. The director asked Mears if he could play the role because he's such a nice guy. Derek said, "Yeah, it's called acting." Yes, absolutely, man. He's actually a pretty good actor overall. He showed up in The Flash a few times, the show, but other than that, can't remember anything else he's in. He should be Jason if they ever make another Friday the 13th movie if he's up for it. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I'll have the list ready to go. Make sure you check out Blood Rage. All right, put that on the list. Yeah, I'll have the list ready to go. I'm looking at Jared real fast to see what he's got where, and I can kind of gauge things. Wow, Dream Warriors will not be number one.
You don't think so?
No, it won't be.
Is Jared Scott last or something?
No, but it's far enough down that it won't be. It's going to be a movie that I don't consider a horror movie.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. More than likely.
Predator?
Yep, Predator. That's Jared's number one, and I think Nate has it at number one too. I love Predator, but I don't look at it as a horror movie. I never will be able to. I again, so we don't argue about movies. I okay, fine, I'll put it on the list. That's how I feel. But Predator to me will never be a horror movie.
Predator 2 is more of a horror film than the first
I
one.
agree 100%. I agree 100%. Yep, Predator is action. That's what I think. Yeah, Evil Dead 2 could be high, but again, Jared's list is fucking me up a little bit. Yeah, Evil Dead 2. So I think there's a lot like of good movies to consider here. The Lost Boys, Predator, Monster Squad, Evil Dead 2, Hellraiser, Dream Warriors, The Gate is a great movie. Near Dark. Uh, there's a lot to consider here. I gotta find. Shit, I'm gonna see if I can find Nate's list real fast. Let's see, 1987. Who was alive in 1987 here? Me and Seth definitely were. Let's see. Oh, ooh, interesting. Interesting. So I have Prince of Darkness on my list. Jared does not. Predator will not be number. This is going to be interesting because I have Predator ranked number 5. This is going to be really interesting to see how this list comes out. Nate's got Predator 1, so Predator may be number 1. Elm Street 3 at number 2. I have Elm Street 3 at number 2 as well. And I got to look at your list. Nate's got The Stepfather on here. Of course, he's got one that nobody else has. So does Jared. He's got Opera, which is a good movie. If you've never seen it, it's really good. And I've got Prince of Darkness. Do you have Prince of Darkness on yours?
Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. That's a perfect reaction for that.
It's called John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, and yes, it
Well,
is.
still, you've got Prince of Darkness on your list,
Yes,
right?
it's number 2 on my list.
Okay, so where the fuck is your list? Lord have mercy. I can't type in John Carpenter's. There's so many things pop up for John Carpenter with you. Let's see. Okay, this gives me a clearer picture. Predator probably won't be number 1. I'll get this done tonight after I get off here, and me and you will be able to know for sure what the list. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. He played Swamp Thing. I forgot about that. I was 8 in 87. I was 7 in 87. That's the year I turned 7. I saw Dream Warriors in the theater. Oh yeah, Near Dark. Near Dark is number 10 on two people's lists. So Alive in 87. Yes, Alive. Yes, Opera is really good. Seth, have you ever seen Opera?
No, I don't think I have.
Check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a the hell just happened? It's an Italian movie by none other than your favorite and mine, Dario Argento. One of the cool things about it is there's a scene where the killer is going to kill somebody, and they tape needles under the eyelids. So if they close their eyes, the needles will go right in their eyeballs. Italians and eyeballs. I don't understand what they're doing, but yeah, it's definitely worth watching. I don't know if it'll make your list. Quest for Peace should be on our list for horror movies from 1987. Trekopedia, if you go to Rage of Razor here on YouTube, you will see an episode of Seth and I defending that movie, that very movie, Superman: The Quest for Peace. If John Carpenter ever had a stalker, probably by yeah, Seth does live in the Northeast, where I think John Carpenter resides currently. Actually, I have no idea where he lives.
Nah, he's in California, I believe.
You got me beat. Freddy's Dead was my first in theater. So the thing is, I could be wrong in what movie it was, but the theater, I lived in a small town that had a theater with 2 screens, and they were playing Elm Street 3, and I swear it was Crocodile Dundee, but I think the years are wrong, so I could be wrong. But I wanted to see the Freddy movie because I had just seen 1 and 2 on HBO when I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I knew they were playing it at the Laurie Theater in Highland, is what it was called. And I think it's still open. And I snuck my ass in at 6, 7 years old to go see Elm Street and sat there in the back row and watched the entire movie. And it was, as a 7-year old, sitting there by myself, I was by myself. My mom dropped me off there at whatever age I was, 6 or 7 years old, to go see a movie, and I sat there by myself, like as my mom would say, like a pig in shit, just enjoying every moment of Dream Warriors, and I'll never forget it. That is a great memory of mine. I wasn't taken to see it. I I did my own thing because the '80s were a different time. You could drop a kid 6 years old off at the theater and they'd be fine, and that's what happened. Dude, I like Quest for Peace. I don't even care. Yeah, see, I know it was '86, but I swear it was playing. You got to remember, these were the old days when movies kind of stuck in theaters for a long time. So I'm pretty sure it was Crocodile Dundee. I could be wrong, but I know I was supposed to go see Crocodile Dundee, but I didn't. I'll know. I remember that. But like I can't remember what other movie it might have been. And that's not the first time or the last time that I've skipped movies because there was supposed to go see a movie called Cousins. Yuck, by the way, with Ted Danson. You remember that movie?
No.
Yeah, and we snuck in to see Batman instead and stood in the back while we watched the whole movie because Batman was sold out. So we bought tickets to see that movie Cousins. Yuck, by the way, it's a movie about Ted Danson falling in love with his cousin or some shit. Gross. Sorry for anybody in the South. Uh, just joking. But anyway, when we watched, we did the same thing, same movie with Back to the Future 2. So, uh, Cousins, yeah, we saw Cousins twice. Actually, it's funny, I've never fucking seen that movie. Let's see. We were all hype in school when the local station showed Dream Warriors in syndication, and I saw it. Yeah, hell yeah. Yep, Back to the Future was in the theaters for a year. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It movies stayed in the theater for a while back then. So I could be right. I could be wrong. It could have been something else. But I know I skipped out on seeing Crocodile Dundee to see that. Let's see, Superman the movie. I like all four of those Superman movies. I don't care at all. So anyway, next week we are doing 1987. If you guys are fans of werewolf type movies, of course Seth will be doing Werewolf Wednesday tomorrow. And if I can get this fucking thing work, I don't know where my mouse went. The topic will be the movie Skinwalkers. So you can. I will say that the marketing for this movie, like the images and poster art, almost drew me in for some reason. I think it's because the sexy looking werewolf chick on the cover. But yeah, I've never seen Skinwalkers, but Seth will be talking about that tomorrow night. We will be doing 1987 next week, Tuesday, and then on Sunday we're supposed to do two more Poe movies. Hopefully, we will get through the madness that is Discourse because Discourse has missed its night a couple times because of scheduling conflicts and mix-ups. Honestly, so we'll be back with Discourse hopefully on Sunday. If not, I don't know. I don't know at this point. Batman in 1989 was when movies started leaving theaters sooner. That's I I would agree with that. They were charging like $100 per VHS on pre-orders and shit. My dad rented Dream Warriors from Blockbuster. I watched it 3 times that weekend. I would have too. Hell yeah, that's a good weekend if you ask me. Batman '89. I can't imagine how big that was in 1989. Born in '93. Yeah, man, that was everywhere in '89. You remember that summer '89? Batman came out. Ghostbusters 2. That was an awesome summer. Love
Yeah,
Ghostbusters.
my
Blood
dad.
Diner. Okay.
My dad took me and my brother to go see Batman in the theater when it came out in '89, and then we ratted him out to our mom accidentally.
Girlfriend's dad was moving computer mouse, and her cats were chasing it like it was the wrong kind of mouse. Sean watched it for the nurse. Uh, I watched it for the nurse. Do you like my body, Joey? Ugh, shiver me timbers. If only it were Lisa Wilcox. So join us next week for 1987 and the following week 1988, and we'll wrap up the 1980s with 1989 3 weeks from tonight. That probably won't wrap up the 1980s because I'm trying to push for us to do a top 25. Probably not. I don't think we're going to do 50 because that would take forever. But I think we're going to do the top 25 overall from the 1980s with the way we've been doing this. Once we wrap up 1989, if you guys are into that, let us know in the comments. Make sure you get, just tell your friends, hey, you got a Gmail? Go get a Google account or a YouTube account and subscribe, please. Come on, get the Horror Syndicate to 2000 finally. It's taking forever. That's true. I wonder what the first naked woman everyone saw was. That could possibly be my first naked woman. No, that's not true. I got a fun story I'm going to tell real fast. So one night, I was probably 6 years old, and we lived in this big house in Highland. And my cousins came over to stay the night because my mom and her sister, they were all going out, to some wedding or a party. I don't know. I don't care. And so our normal babysitter came over, but she brought a friend with her. And I mean, she was like 15, or something like that, 14, 15, 16, somewhere around there. And so me and my cousin Sean and my cousin Jeffrey, I was 6, Sean would have been 7, Jeffrey would have been 5. And we were running around the house playing and everything like that. And we were teasing the two girls who were just talking about boys and stuff. And my cousin Sean goes, like they kept feeding me lines to say to her, and I would do it, because I have brass balls. So I'd be like, hey, girl, you look ugly or something like that. I don't remember exactly what was said. And then one time, my friend, I'll never forget, Sean goes, "Hey, tell her to show us her tits." And he's 7. And first of all, I have no idea what tits are at this point. And I was like, "Hey, show us your tits." And she did. And all 3 of us screamed like little children and ran away and took off running. So those might have been the first tits I've ever saw. I don't remember her name. I do remember what they look like. They're in there forever. But and that's sad to say that because she was like 15. I got to reevaluate my life. Anyway, so yeah, fun little story. I will never forget how awesome the Prince of Darkness. The score is phenomenal. Prince of Darkness will be on our list next week. Based on where Seth and I have it, it'll absolutely be on our list, regardless of Jared and regardless of Nate. And you know what? Maybe I'll just regardless of them, period, and put it on there number 1. No, clip that story and make it a YouTube short. I don't think anybody wants to hear about my first experience seeing boobs. I can tell you about my last experience, the most recent one, if you'd like. Anybody out there want to hear about that story? Anybody? Let me know in the comments if you want to hear the last time I saw tits in my face. They were Seth's. I love you, buddy.
It's supposed to be private. God.
I know I can't help it. Seth, of course, lives like 30 states away from me, so that's not true. But I'm not gonna tell that story. She's no doubt watching, or she did. If she's not watching now, then I'm not gonna call her tonight. Yes, absolutely. I mean, come on. Come on. I love boobs. Years ago, I can't remember what show it was. Was it one of our? It was either one of our shows or was the THS Lives with Jared, Brian, and Mike Lombardo. And one of our followers said that they were going to drink every time I mentioned boobs. I think I could get people drunk. What do you think?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
I think I may get some chocolate milk, and every time I mention boobs, drink some chocolate milk because I love chocolate milk.
There you go.
And I don't drink alcohol. So, actually, the last boobs I saw are this person right here. Where is it? There. Her boobs. Yes. She embarrassed me on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I'm trying to get her back. So, but it's true.
She's probably gonna kick your ass, man.
Bring it. Boy, who was that actress that played Sturba?
Oh, Sybil Dannon.
Sybil, she did not like that at all. Apparently, she was really angry when she saw the movie. I mean, I would be too because it just kept showing the tits. And if you guys notice that on the Werewolf Wednesday video, of course we can't show nudity because we'll get taken down or whatever. But here, take a look if you haven't seen it. But the Werewolf Wednesday intro, check out the end. I did that just for Seth. I couldn't help myself. Oh man. You definitely win. Yeah. Good. I hope you're embarrassed now. Gotcha. Or as Dave Chappelle would say, gotcha, bitch. All right. Seth, out of the next 3 years, which one are you most excited about? 87, 88, or 89?
88.
I think I'm excited about 87. That's a stacked year, man. Both of them are really stacked. So it's gonna they're both
87
gonna
and
be
88 are like two of my favorite years of the 80s for sure.
just period, really, if you think about it. Not even just horror movies. There's tons of good movies, period, that came out in those 2 years. Probably the height of the 1980s were
I mean,
87, 88.
yeah, the greatest movie ever made came out in 88. The greatest.
Yeah, but I love Bill Murray, but Scrooged is not the greatest movie ever made. It's good, but
That's not what I was going to say. The greatest film ever made is Die Hard.
that's
All right.
not. But okay, I
There's
still like. I don't understand
Nobody
how
would
that.
argue against that.
I think people like. I know people love that movie, and I do too. It's fun. Yes, it does. Lionel Luther. I used to make fun of the way he says Lana. Lana.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think that Die Hard's a great movie and everything, but greatest movie of all time?
Yeah. No, definitely. It.
I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is Die Hard the greatest movie of all time?
I mean,
Let us know in the comments.
there's the people who would agree with me, and then the people who are wrong. This is the only objective opinion of film. Everything else is subjective except for whether or not Die Hard is the greatest film.
Color me wrong, then. I like that. I like Die Hard 3 better. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I prefer Die Hard 3, and I'm a big proponent for Die Hard 2.
Okay, go sit in the corner and rethink your life.
I have to after tonight. My goodness. I definitely have to. All right. Seth, is there anything else you want to say before we head out tonight?
No, sir, there is not.
All right. Another fun episode of Horror Movie Massacre. We will be back next week, and we will be back with 1980. We're going back in time. 1987 is where we're going to go, and it's going to be a good time. So please join us again next week, next Tuesday, which will be in March, actually, for 1987. And before we do go, how I want to do something like this for the 90s, but I don't think we can do it day or year by year because I don't think there's enough from the 90s to do. We have to
cherry pick a couple years or condense a couple.
Yeah, well, we could do like 1990 to 94, then 95 to 99 or some shit like that, and then do one full list. I don't know. I'm having fun with these videos. If you guys are having fun with these videos, let us know. So, okay, that's perfectly put. Die Hard 3, I prefer, but it's not better. Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. Thank you. Oh, you rule. Especially, since you love Superman: A Quest for Peace. We don't know that. We don't know that. The 90s have some good horror movies. I think the 90s may be a little underappreciated. Not underrated, but underappreciated. Die Hard's in my top 50. Die Hard's not in my top 50 of all time. Seth will flog me for that later. Anyway, you guys have a great night. We will see you next week.